We live our lives on a straight line. The past is a collection of memories. The future, a field of possibilities. And the present is this fragile, fleeting instant we are in right now. We trust in this order. We need it to maintain our sanity. But what if there were places in the world where this line isn't straight? Places where time is thin, where the fabric of reality is fragile. Places where the past, present, and future are not a succession, but an overlap. Where you could literally stumble over a ghost and fall into the lap of a monster that hasn't yet been born. Today's story is about one of those places, and about the man who pointed his camera at it and saw too much. Good evening or good morning. I am Utopico. The investigation I bring you today is the reconstruction of the final days of the journalist Roberto Leite, who disappeared 6 months ago. Roberto traveled to the city of Tres Trilhas in Santa Catarina to investigate the legends of an old luxury hotel. He went looking for ghosts, but he found something infinitely more complex and terrifying. What you are about to hear and see today is what I've managed to salvage from his damaged camera. It is the record of a man discovering that the hotel he was staying in was not just a building, but a multi-dimensional prison, and that its guests never checked out. And before we check into this hotel, if you also believe that time holds more secrets than history tells us, leave a like to join this investigation. And if you want to unravel the most complex cases of our reality, subscribe to the Utopico channel and ring the notification bell. The truth sometimes isn't in another place, but in another time, and we will travel to it. Let's begin. The case of Roberto Leite starts in an almost banal way. He was an investigative journalist for a small online portal, specializing in debunking urban legends. He receives an anonymous tip-off from a woman named Stephanie, who encourages him to investigate the Grand Hotel Santa Dinfina in the city of Tres Trilhas. The city, a slice of Austria in the heart of Santa Catarina, is famous for its European architecture and culture, and the hotel was the jewel in its crown. The first recordings from his camera, which I obtained from the local police, show his arrival. The city is charming. The hotel is impressive. An imposing, Alpine-style building that looks straight out of a fairy tale. The reception is luxurious. The staff are impeccably polite. Nothing suggests the horror that hides within its corridors. Roberto checks in. The room he's assigned is 611, and it is here that normality ends.
Right then, everyone. Roberto Leite, here coming to you from room 611 of the Grand Hotel. The place is incredible, but there's already a certain ... atmosphere. A real heaviness in the air. Apparently, this is one of the most active rooms in the hotel. We're gonna set up the kit and see what the night has in store.
The recordings from Roberto's first night in the hotel are a veritable feast for any ghost hunter. The camera, left recording on a tripod, captures a series of classic events. The bathroom door opens and closes on its own. The television turns on and off, showing nothing but static. Small objects like the room keys and a glass of water slide slowly across the table. And Roberto's audio recorder captures voices. The whispers of a crying woman and the voice of a man speaking authoritatively in German. Roberto is ecstatic. He has his proof. The hotel is haunted. But while investigating the room, he finds something that changes the course of his investigation. Hidden under the lining of a drawer, he finds a small, black-covered diary. It belonged to a previous guest, a man who was also investigating the hotel. The diary entries begin by talking about the ghosts, but they quickly become more paranoid. Cult? Gas? Roberto's investigation shifts from being about the paranormal to being about a conspiracy. And the last page of the diary read, "He left the lens behind. The only way to see the truth. It's in the safe." Roberto finds a safe hidden behind a painting in the room. And using a password that was written in invisible ink in the diary, he opens it. Inside the safe, There was no money or jewelry. There was only one object, a camera lens. It was old in appearance, with a multifaceted glass, almost like an insect's eye. Roberto, a photography enthusiast, is intrigued. He attaches it to his own digital camera. At first, nothing happens. But upon pointing the camera at the wall of the room and zooming in, the world shatters. This is where it gets truly frightening. The recording from Roberto's camera becomes a visual nightmare. Through the lens, the hotel's luxurious wallpaper begins to peel away, revealing a wall of grimy, white tiles, stained with blood and rust. The comfortable bed transforms into a metal gurney with leather restraints. Room 611 is no longer a hotel room. It's a sanatorium room from the early 20th century. He hears a scream. He lowers the camera. The room is normal. He raises the camera. The sanatorium. He sees the ghostly figure of a nurse passing through the wall. And then he tries it again. He points the camera at another corner, and the view changes once more, but now not to the past, to the future. The room is in complete ruins. The ceiling has collapsed, and everything is covered in a dark, pulsating organic mass. And in the middle of the ruins, he sees a figure. A tall, slender creature with disproportionate limbs, which turns and looks directly at the camera before vanishing into the shadows. The camera doesn't see ghosts. It sees time. The hotel's past as a sanatorium of horrors. Its present as a luxury hotel hiding the truth. And a future where the place has been consumed by an otherworldly infestation. Roberto realizes he is at the center of a temporal anomaly, and that the camera is his only tool to navigate it, and his only chance of survival. The rest of Roberto's recordings are a feverish and terrifying journey through the corridors of the Santa Dinfina, with him using the camera to switch between timelines and solve the puzzles of the past to survive in the present. He uncovers the truth in pieces. The hotel was built in the 1920s by an Austrian scientist and industrialist, a man obsessed with manipulating time and contacting other realities. The location, Tres Trilhas, was chosen for having a geological and temporal weakness. He founded a cult, the Architects of Reality, to continue his work. The sanatorium was a facade. The patients with rare diseases were, in fact, test subjects. The cult used a gas, extracted from local minerals and a meteorite, to induce an altered state of perception in the subjects, forcing them to see through time. The goal was to use their minds as an anchor to bring power and knowledge from other dimensions. The experiment was a disaster. Most of the test subjects went mad or died. Their tortured consciousnesses became the ghosts that haunt the hotel. And worse, the experiment opened a fissure, a portal, and the creatures Roberto saw in the future are slowly leaking into our present. The tapes show Roberto being hunted on multiple fronts. In the present, he is pursued by the cult members, masked figures who want to silence him and retrieve the lens. In the past, he is confronted by the suffering spirits, and in the future, by the malformed creatures that infest the ruins. He uses the camera to escape, seeing through a wall in the present to find a door that only existed in the past, or seeing in the future which corridor will collapse to avoid it in the present. It is a struggle for survival through time itself. The last recording recovered from Roberto's memory card is short and chaotic. The image is first person. He is running down a hotel corridor, but the realities are merging without the camera's control. The walls flicker between luxury, the decay of the sanatorium, and the organic infestation of the future. He is being chased. The shrill cry of the dimensional creature is heard right behind him, and the voices of the cult members shouting orders in German. Roberto reaches what appears to be the center of the experiment, a room with a bizarre machine in the middle, a mix of old technology and occult symbols from which the time-distorting gas emanates. He turns around. The camera points at the door, and one of the creatures, The largest of them, a nightmare of malformed limbs and eyes, bursts into the room. Roberto screams. The camera falls to the floor, facing the ceiling. We see the creature's shadow cast over it. And then, static. End of recording. Roberto Late was never seen again. The local police closed the case as disappearance in unknown circumstances. The Hotel Santa Dinfana continues to operate, receiving guests, and perhaps looking for new test subjects. What Roberto found was proof that our perception of time as a straight line is a convenient illusion, and that there are those who, in their arrogance, try to play God with the laws of the universe. And that leaves me with a final question for you. Should humanity's quest for knowledge have no limits? Or are there certain doors that should never be opened? And if one day we discover that time can be bent, used, manipulated, will we use that power to heal and evolve, or to create even worse prisons and monsters? Leave your thoughts in the comments. This is one of the most complex cases I have ever analyzed, and your opinion is vital. If this story has made you question the very nature of reality, subscribe to the Utopico channel and ring the notification bell. Together, we will continue to investigate these leaks between our world and the others. In our next investigation, we go to sea. The story of a Second World War ghost ship found adrift in the Pacific. But what the rescue team finds on board are not ghosts. They are survivors. And the story they tell of what hunted them during a storm is more frightening than any haunting. Thank you for traveling through time with me. Until next time.